I was the richest man in the world, but I disguised myself as a migrant worker to sneak into my own mine, just to see with my own eyes what kind of man my long-lost son had become. To my surprise, when he saw me in shabby work clothes, he didn't show the slightest disgust. Instead, he hugged me tightly. At that moment, sorrow and warmth surged in my chest. I told him the company had gone bankrupt and I could only rely on him to take care of me, but he firmly said taking care of me was his duty as a son and told me to stay at home with peace of mind. The next day, I saw my son come home covered in bruises. I rushed forward to ask what happened. He brushed it off, said it was just a scrape in the mine, but I knew the truth. The mine was part of my business empire. I had already allocated $80 million for machines. How could workers still be sent underground by hand? To uncover the truth, I followed my son to the mine and was shocked. There were no machines at all. In anger, I questioned the manager why he let so many risk their lives, but they brushed me aside, even pushed me to the ground, treating me as a nobody, ready to beat me. Just then, a commotion came from inside the tunnel. Several workers rushed out carrying. The injured rocks had fallen on them. The manager called a doctor immediately, but I could tell at a glance the helmets were defective. Something was terribly wrong here. I messaged my secretary, told him to lead a surprise inspection. When the workers were bandaged, the mine boss arrived. Hearing there was a visitor, he ordered the accident covered up. Though the doctor insisted the man go to hospital, the manager shamelessly told him to rest at home. The boss casually handed over $200, calling it compensation. The workers looked resigned and accepted without protest. Rage burned in my chest. The boss then announced work would stop for 2 days and threatened them not to speak of it. I couldn't hold back. I accused him publicly of embezzling the money meant for machines. His face darkened instantly. He shamelessly argued that not buying machines meant workers had jobs. I shouted at him, smashed a broken helmet on the ground, and demanded, was this also for the workers? Good. I saw him draped in gold, arriving in luxury cars, all the company's funds swallowed by his greed exposed. He grew furious, waved his men to clear the room, then ordered them to beat me. My son fell to his knees in terror, begging me not to speak further, but I refused to yield. I shouted they were corrupt and swore to reveal their filth. Soon word came. The headquarters inspection team had arrived. The boss greeted them calmly, but secretly locked me and my son away. When my secretary arrived, he saw workers pretending, showing off good pay and safe conditions, and failed to see the truth. But he grew anxious because my phone never connected. So he asked the boss directly if any newcomers had appeared. Hearing no, he said nothing more and followed them to inspect elsewhere. At that moment, the boss's thugs came to me because they realized from the conversation the secretary was looking for me. I shouted for help, but the thugs were calm. They even plotted to kill me. At the critical moment, I fought back desperately, bit one man's hand, then smashed a stone against another's head. Meanwhile, my secretary reached the mine entrance, saw 2 injured workers stumbling out. He pressed to know more and ignored the boss's attempt. To block him, he marched straight into the tunnel. At that moment, a thug raised his pickaxe ready to strike me down, but just in time, my secretary burst